about, people who have achieved quite a number of things, lawyers especially, lawyers just like you, who you have the opportunity to ask questions, who you have the opportunity to learn from, right? They're going to be sharing their experiences, things that they have learned, and if possible, just put you onto opportunities. So if possible, not if possible, please definitely ask questions. Ask as much questions as you would like. So yeah, you have success stories as well. You have examples. We also have some questions here. So I think when the speakers are done, we'll just go through the questions. So I declared this session open. So I think I am just going to I'm just going to start off with the speakers. We have four speakers here. We have Mr. Christopher Daniel, we have Miss Rosemond Ofihiwa, we have Miss Welim Amori, and we have Mr. Inem Busa. And I think they're all here today, this morning. Mr. Inem was here a couple of minutes ago, but I'm sure he will join in. I'm really looking forward to this session because I'm excited to hear from everyone, all the stories, experiences. So I will just go ahead and read the bios. I'll start with Mr. Christopher Daniel. So I'll just make it really brief, get straight to the point. So Mr. Christopher is the Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Young Lawyers Forum Port Harcourt branch. He is also an associate and head of research at Summer Chambers, Port Harcourt. His areas of expertise include litigation, corporate practice, real estate practice. Then I will go to Miss Rosemond. Okay, Mr. Christopher, just wave your hand. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
So now I'm going to go to Miss Rosemond Ofihiwa. So Rosemond Ofihiwa is an astute corporate and commercial attorney. She is the chairperson of the internship committee of the African Bar Association Nigerian branch. She's a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation Nigeria, and she's a corporate communications officer of the Pan-African Women's Network, as well as a member of other NGOs, where she pushes for impact, growth, and continuous personal and professional development. Hi, Rosemond. Just give us a wave if you can. Okay. Let's move to Miss Wellim. So Wellim Amory is head of operations in Australia. So she's a commercial and technology lawyer with in-depth knowledge and experience in international commerce, marketing, legal tech development and management, e-learning and program development. Her practice cuts across digital law and policy, internet governance, and regulatory compliance for tech companies. As a trainer, she manages a range of legal tech products and services, including an e-learning and e-commerce platform. Hi, it's William. If you can, just give us a wave.
Hi, I'm waving. I seem to have a problem with my camera. I can't. It's on, but it's refusing to display. But hi everyone. I'm so glad to be here. Super psyched and super excited. Welcome everybody.
Good to have you here. So Mr. Inem isn't here yet. I think before he comes on, I will just read his bio, but we can get right into it now. So I think a good place to start would be knowledge sharing, right? So I'll start with Mr. Christopher. Can you tell us your experience so just give us a brief introduction about yourself, what you do, and also your experience as a lawyer, how your experience has been as a Nigerian lawyer.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Can
I get a response, please? Okay,
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Let me start from the bad side of it, actually, scratch when you start as a young lawyer from the beginning. When I was called to the bar, I after then I went to service, and during service, I actually posted to the Ministry of Justice, and the practice there was as if those persons that were core members were not allowed to shine in the state I was sent to because there are so many lawyers there. So it's as if there was no way for me to practice during my service year. So I had to learn some other skills as a lawyer. I had to learn shoemaking and making of bow ties and lapels and everything with that. And then getting back to Port Harcourt from service, I tried different law firms, and the pay they said they're going to pay me as a young lawyer was nothing to write home about. It was way less than monthly salary of NYSC in Nigeria. And I was shocked. I was like, this is a prestigious profession, and then I'm coming to be told that I'm going to be given peanuts. It's not even enough to cover my monthly subscription and airtime for the month. So I was like, okay, but it's actually meant for me to learn. But for that first stage, I just had to do something else. I went into business and I was making good money. Then I was okay, fine. I went to study law to practice. So I got a law firm, and the pay was 15,000 naira monthly. That was coming at intervals. You can come this month, you see it, the next month, you won't see it. It was very bad, but I was learning actually. I was learning. I was able to prepare briefs, to draft documents, and everything. And it was a wonderful experience for that first 1 year without pay. So I had to go through that. Like it was like a tutelage for me. Then after that, I decided that I'm not going to go to a place where the minim a place where I can't be paid or I won't be paid anything less than 50,000 naira. And I decided that. So I had to work on myself. I had to gain more experiences and everything. And so when I got to the new place, it was so, and I started practicing. And then one thing about my new area is that I can do anything I want to do. Practice in any field I want to practice. You're working in the office, but you still have your personal time to do your own briefs. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I have been exposed to different branches or different areas of practicing law. Litigation, it's wonderful. Then we'll go to arbitration also. I'm receiving training for that. And then is it talking about company law? Is it incorporation companies and corporate practice? So I've been virtually into almost all those things, and it's been a wonderful experience. But in all this is patience. You know, starting from the scratch is not easy. But if you know what you want, so wherever you are, you develop yourself. Don't just go for the money, but going for the money is good. But if you can't get the exact money you're looking for, get the experience you need. While you're looking for a better place, make sure you're relevant where you are, get the necessary requirements. So when you're moving to the next place, you know that you're adding value there, and then your services will be recommended and needed. So that's a little I can say about my practice. It's been a wonderful experience. So you're welcome. But also, one more thing, please. You need to have a side hustle, not just the law. Because if it's just the law, then you'll be working just to get or to make money. And if you're looking for that, you might do some things that are not right, they're not legal and everything. But if you have something else doing while practicing, though you're getting not as much as you would want, but it's enough to run some things, then you also have money coming in from some other place. So you enjoy your practice and you also enjoy your side also. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So,
Okay, ma'am.
like you said, be patient, develop yourself, get the experience that you need. All these are very important. Also, having a side hustle, I think that's very important as a Nigerian living in Nigeria today. Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher. So, I think we'll go to Miss Rosemond now. The floor is yours.
Okay, so am I supposed to give my own experience as well?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Okay, where do I start from? Trying to summarize the journey of 6 years in maybe 2 minutes. Okay. So for me, getting my foot solid in the legal profession didn't happen in a day. It didn't happen in a year. I would love to. I wish I could tell you it happened in 2 years, but so this was just the summary of it. Fresh out of law school. Yeah. I'm glad that I see somebody I know from way back in university here. I'm so honored. First of all, let me just say I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much for having me. Bestie is here. Um, so in the university, I was quite the, in quotes, very articulate kind. I was always doing moot courts and all that. And so everybody had this perception that, Rosamond is going to do litigation. She's going to, go there, shout my lord from morning to night. She's very, very energetic and everything. And I got out of law school and it was a different ball game. I realized that being a lawyer is not just about your ability to talk. It's not your ability to be articulate. It's not just about your ability to be able to put up a front and all that. Being a sound, in quotes, and I'm using litigation because my story changes, right? Being a sound litigation lawyer requires you to be able to think on your feet as fast as you can, be very knowledgeable about the laws that govern whatever field you're going into, whether it's commercial law, whether it's criminal, whatever it is. But short story. So this is what it was. After law school, I didn't have an idea. I didn't have connections, in quotes. So I literally had to find my way. So this was what I did, right? I went to LinkedIn. I asked myself some questions. I looked inwards and I said, Rosamond, what exactly can you do? Yes, you have this skill. You are very passionate about things. What can you do? And so I just decided to start writing articles. So I remember the first article I wrote about, before we started talking about anything data protection, data privacy. I think I wrote an article on data protection and data privacy that literally was published on several African blogs. A business blog in Africa reached out to me from South Africa, said, "Oh, we saw your article on LinkedIn, we want to publish it." And I published that. So I just kept writing, and at that time I didn't have a job, as it were. So I remember I connected with a high court judge in Abuja, who, so end of story, I started writing for him. I was writing his judgment. I was literally doing a lot of legal research for him. And one day he just asked me, said, "Sorry, are you working?" And I said, "No." He said, "Okay, what would you want to do?" I told him exactly where I wanted to work. I told him how much I wanted to earn. And that was just the end of it. Apparently, the person that he introduced me to was his classmate in law school. So the High Court judge in Abuja introduced me to his friend who had a law firm, and they were classmates in law school, and he was a senior advocate of Nigeria. That was my previous employer, Mr. Olatunde Adeju, USCN. So I didn't have an interview. Literally, I walked into that place and we were just having conversation, and I resumed the next day, right? And that's how my legal career started, right? I realized that one of the things that distinguish us as lawyers is your ability to, first of all, to see beyond the ordinary, see what people are not seeing, especially when you are dealing with facts, dealing with cases. So it was a very beautiful journey for me, but it was a lot of struggle because I was very articulate, but I forgot that the real work starts with you being able to interpret information, analyze information, solve problems, think on your feet. So just being articulate was not just enough for me. And it was a struggle for me because I always like to be spontaneous. I'm a spontaneous person, right? But the summary is that every period or everything I learned within, I worked there for about 4 years. Everything I learned within that period culminated into everything I am and I know now. My boss was somebody that before you started talking about what the issue of the law is, he has quoted the case, he has quoted the parts, he knows the page, and I'm like, God, how do people get here, right? And before people start talking about, oh, young lawyers, they don't pay us so much, I understand that that's a reality. But one thing I would say is that you must leverage on your gift of men and your gift of people, right? So that opportunity, having that strong foundation gave me the confidence I needed. In my first year of being called to the bar, I was already handling cases for AMCON, right? I think my first brief was I wound down a company and a company running into billions of dollars or so. So that confidence, right, came as early as possible and I built on it, and that helped me to establish different areas of my career and all, right? But I won't say it was always easy. There were times of self-doubt because there were times I was unsure of myself. In as much as I loved research, I loved to read, I loved to, put things together, I realized that I needed to still keep paying attention to detail. You see, everybody knows something, but what makes one exceptional is your ability to see what other people are not seeing. And that was one of the distinguishing factors of my boss. And he was just so good at what he did. And it was always a struggle for me because I was always carried away with so much, and being able to see into the details was a struggle. So I literally had to build that, right? That was not all. It was not just about practicing, I got involved. I love to volunteer a lot. So I joined the Nigerian Bar Association, the Young Lawyers Forum, and that's what led to me currently being the chairperson of continuing education. So I just loved to learn. There was something that Lola didn't mention. So my journey has basically been from average somebody who enjoyed to shout in court, to being somebody who loved research, to being somebody who became confident in her skills and her ability, into being somebody who loves to read, loves to develop herself, loves to volunteer. And right now, I'm currently a partner in another firm, Debo Akonde LLP, and I'm also a co-founder of a legal technology company. So my journey has been very, very dynamic. It's been dynamic from just being a litigator to being in tech to being into so many things, right? Human capacity development. I consult for companies. I consult for small businesses. It's just been a very beautiful journey for me. So it's really been amazing. But one thing I will stop here and say is that never be scared to evolve. Don't say that because this is all I know, it means that that is all that I have to know, right? You may start off saying, oh, yes, I know what I want. But the truth is that life happens and you change, you evolve. So don't be scared of evolving. Don't be scared of trying something different. If you're in a field and you realize that this thing, it's not really working for me, be dynamic enough to evolve, to change, to adapt, to grow, to learn so that you can be able to become whoever you need to be. So that's just a very short summary of my story. I wish I could say more than that, but that's what it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rizwan. I'm inspired. I'm so inspired. Well done. So just some notes on what she said. I think it's like she said, it's really important to ask what you can do. Start from where you are. I love how you said you started writing articles. Putting yourself out there. Also very important to network, right? People say closed mouths don't get fed. Ask questions. Whoever it is that try to put yourself in just try to insert yourself in relevant places. It's very, very interesting. Well done. Well, I'm sure everybody here is just like, wow. So I think we'll go to Miss Anwuri. She can take the floor now.
Hi, Damola. Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome everybody once again. Rosemond, that was an awesome sharing, like too much in there that I can personally relate to. But for me, I think my experience as someone with a law degree, when I introduce myself, I just tend to introduce myself as someone with a law degree because I'm not sure yet what's saying I'm a lawyer, and I'm not sure I've really tapped into all the resources that a lawyer has. So sometimes I feel like, yeah, maybe there are some other things I need to explore. There are some other things I need to try and do before I can fully just come out and say I'm a lawyer. This is happening to me because back then, as a kid growing up, we always used to look at lawyers as one, they were like, should I just say demigods? They were like standing on their own lane. They had their own different ways that they dressed. They had their own, they just appeared so different from every other profession that we have always seen. So that was one of the things that, got me attracted to studying to become a lawyer. So my experience with the legal profession so far has been very, very, very amazing. I started as a confused person. I started as someone that didn't really know what she wanted, even though I grew up thinking, yeah, the law is the way to be. It was just because, man, those people are special. You see them enter places, they make rules, they make ways for them. So it just kind of picked on me, and then I followed through. Went to uni, did the law school, and now I'm out. So it was at the point of, okay, you are now called to bar. In fact, it was the day I went to the Supreme Court to register that I now started thinking, okay, I am actually a lawyer now. What am I supposed to be doing? What did I intend to do with this thing that I went to study? I didn't know that. I wasn't sure of that until when I, went to finish the final registration. After call to bar, you go and chill, then you go to Supreme Court, finish registration. When you have SC number and you come out on the street and you know that you can be a verified lawyer, that anybody that thought, this one, are you sure this one is even a lawyer? You have that Supreme Court number to prove it. I'm sorry, I would really love to turn up my video because of interaction, but it seems my camera appears to be malfunctioning today. So so when I finished my registration and I was, at that point where I'm done, I'm ready, I can walk into a new place and fully introduce myself as someone that qualifies as a legal practitioner officially. My name is on the roll, this, that. What do I need to do next? What am I supposed to be doing? Well, that was when it hit me. I wasn't sure. So I became stuck. Like, I was blank for the first few months. And that made me not to immediately hurry. I had most of my colleagues were moving on into to have youth service and all of that. But I took, for the next 6 months, your girl was very, very confused and I didn't do anything. I basically just went home and continued towing the parts that I knew, which were before all the while I was studying law school and everything. I've always been interested in doing, I do a lot of research, data compilation and all that. So I was always working with my mom, working with people, whatever interest, whatever area. It doesn't really have to be law. It doesn't have to be tech. It doesn't have to be anything. In fact, I did more things that were not even law related than as opposed to somebody that was studying to be a lawyer. So I took, after my call to bar, I just blanked out. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I had already started making inquiries. I didn't really come out unprepared. It just so happened that it was going to, I was one of the unlucky persons it was going to happen to. I had asked questions. I had been, I had senior colleagues I was looking up to. They painted it as a very nice thing. And yeah, I was really looking forward to it. But when the time came, I became so blank that I went back to my drawing board to say, okay, what are the pros and cons of being a lawyer? That was literally a list I was making to help me decide, because I didn't want to, go for youth service and I'll show up somewhere and not be able to perform. That would have been very, very heartbreaking for me. So in trying to decide what I was going to do next, within the first few months of being a lawyer, I refused to go for service. I stayed back trying to understand. So I started doing like Google search and started going out a lot more. I grew up in Port Harcourt, so I had this background where it's very easy to access some lawyers in Port Harcourt, especially with the way almost all the law firms in Port Harcourt are almost around the same area. Port Harcourt is a very small city, so it's actually very easy to access the law firm. So I started doing small internships. Like it wasn't something that was going to be paid. It wasn't something that was going to be too serious. So I was somewhere in the middle, and I was trying to find my comfort zone of, understanding which area I really wanted to do. Because the way they drew it out for us, it's either you're in litigation or you are doing property, you're selling land. And the way it was, you're either in the courts or you're somewhere in the bush selling land. Those were the two major options they said had to bring money. And because I was all for the money, I mean, experience is good, but I need money. So I was trying to figure out which of them would fit in best for me. And then I started doing a lot of research, and I realized that, wow, there were so many other options, so many other things that one could literally do. Like as a lawyer, you're so exposed. You have so many other options. And I started thinking about it like, oh, how did I not know this? And I realized that I actually knew this. I just wasn't practicing it. I had known very well that, okay, as a lawyer, I can be a company secretary. But when somebody calls you a secretary that time, I mean, several years ago, I don't think so many people like to be called secretaries. They were just looking at it as one kind of profession. Oh, so that's the corporate aspect of law practice. Wow, I can be a secretary. And, I knew all these things. I just wasn't exploring them, and so it kind of limited my options a lot. So that part, I think, for a new wig, especially that part of when you have your degree, you've passed your bar exams, man. Then there's this few. For some people, it's very, very short. It could be as short as 1 hour, 2 hours of deciding, me, I'm going to the hottest real estate firm. Okay, me, I'm going to the hottest litigation firm. You have arbitration and all. But the confusion does set in for some people, it's smaller. For some people like me, it was longer. It took me as long as, 3-6 months within that time. And it's okay to have this kind of feelings, because it will help you decide. And it's more like choosing a career path that you'll be able to grow seamlessly with. You don't want something you would not be aspiring to wake up to every day. So I was able to deal with that part with a lot of research and discussing and networking. It really helped me a lot. I was even kind of, I felt like I was using some of my colleagues as scapegoat then, because I was back home and I'm asking, hey, how you've been posted, how is it, what's the experience, so what's it like? I kind of tapped into other people's experiences and while trying to figure out what I really, really wanted to do. I was also looking at other people to help me decide what I don't want to do. So after that part where you decide, okay, I want to do litigation, I want to, and this doesn't mean you can't do everything at once. No, this is just your main focus. You need to stand out in something. Like when people are saying, oh, we want to call the top 10 people in so field by so category, by so years post score. You want to be able to identify with a particular group. It doesn't really exclude you from every other aspect of law for me. So after that part, the next part was trying to prepare to start working. And I say trying to prepare because some of us back then, me anyway, I'm talking about me. For me back then, I've known everything about the CV since forever. So I always had these mock CVs. I call them mock CVs because when I was really ready to start working, I realized that there were a whole lot of things that were missing from those details. There were a whole lot of details that were missing from those things I called CV. And I was happy I've always had them. So it was easier to, walk around with. And that's the part I want to talk to us about. As new wigs, we need to be able to prepare ourselves for work. That means having a CV. These days, having a portfolio is also a really great thing. And it doesn't have to be so big or elaborate. No, it can be as small as all the volunteering you've done, because it shows all your experience and places you've worked, expertise you have, knowledge, general knowledge that you have. People can be able to identify that, okay, if this person can manage so thing or can learn so thing, it means it will not be a harm to, give them an opportunity to try out this. And they can even come to ask you, oh, I see you've done something related to this. That can even be a reason why a potential employer or a potential volunteer organization would be interested in you. So preparing, arranging yourself for the start of your career, your jobs, CVs, and then there's also the need to learn. There's still the need to learn. You don't need to stop learning. Yes, you've had your degree, and it was quite a whole rundown of about 4 to 6 years for some people, depending on how long and strike and everything. But you still need to keep learning because trends keep changing. Back then, I remember when the new Evidence Act came up, when documentary evidence and the computer generated evidence, when it became such a big tussle, and we were so pissed because we finished studying our scheme for evidence law for the year, and you're coming to bring a new one. Now we have to study it. Now we have to write exams on it. It was very, very frustrating. So it's always good to keep studying, keep putting yourself in the basket for knowledge, keep knowing what is going on, keep learning. And we may not have funds to do some really pretty expensive courses that might be very, very good, but there are courses and there are free tutoring, there are free mentoring sessions. I mean, keep learning does not mean it has to be a course that has exams and certificates. No, you can learn from even a session like this. You can learn from people that have done it before, people that are currently doing it. You can learn basically from anywhere, from the comfort of your home. You can learn online. There are so many ways to keep learning, and that is, for me, those were the things I used in preparing myself for the workforce when I was just trying to start. Another of my experience, I think, was is still very, very relevant to me, is evaluation. I always tend to stop after, when I go, I try this, I do that, I do this. I tend to stop and evaluate myself and see, okay, I started this course. What did it get me? What did I learn? What did I do? So those constant evaluation would help you understand. It would even help you shed more light on some things that you may have missed in the middle of doing so much. By the time you take a day off or take some time off and relax and try to know what you've done so far, to help you decide where you're going to, and see that you're actually in line, that you're following through with the plans you've set out for yourself. Evaluation at intervals really did that for me, because I found out at some point that, okay, even though litigation is not really my thing, does that mean if somebody calls me for litigation, I will really, really have nothing to say? Okay, even if I don't have nothing to say, will I really not have somebody I can point someone to? The essence of networking then comes in there. So if I had been a loner for, excuse me, if I had been a loner for all the time that I started doing my
Sorry there.
Thank you, Chris. So if I'd been a loner all the time I started doing my work and everything, I would really be confused, because sometimes there are things that you just haven't heard of, but your next person may have heard of it and even done so much around it. So it's always good to stop, evaluate, check on, make sure you're networking at the same time that you're pushing on with your career goals. Then I think for me, when I started, I had a bit of everything. I was blessed to not be in a general. Let me even tell you, I didn't even want to be posted to a law firm. First of all, I was all for. I've had enough law. Even with the few months I spent taking notes and gathering experience from people, I felt like I've had enough from law. Let me just try something else. Unfortunately for me, I still got posted to a law firm. Or fortunately for me, actually, because I'm even still grateful till date, I still got posted to a law firm. It wasn't my intention to be posted to a law firm. I wanted to learn from something else. I had other interests that I wanted to pursue then. But I got posted to a law firm that's not your regular law firm. It was one of the best faces. It still is one of the best places I've ever been in my life. And I'm so really, some of us can really get lucky as that, you get connected to the right place that you're supposed to be. You're able to explore every area of yourself. And that's one thing my law firm did for me. I was able to spread. I was able to learn. I learned so much. I learned the general law. I think I thought I knew so much about. I was exposed to so many other areas. I was exposed to diverse practices. I didn't think that lawyers were actually involved. Like lawyers are so involved in almost everything on earth. So why was it looking like it was restricted to only these few practice areas? So I was able to learn so much from being in a firm that was very open to ideas, open to new things. Basically a pace setting firm. It was really very good for me. And then I didn't basically know how come I fell in there. But for some of us, we might have to research to see what kind of places we want. Having been able to identify our interests, we might have to do a research and see the kind of practices that are available and what kind of places we would want to work. And it's also important to be in a great working environment, because trust me, the job might be good, the pay might be good, but if the working environment is not good, at a point you just lose it. So we need to be careful when we're deciding all of that. For me, I had it quite easy, and I felt like maybe God was just rewarding me for my earlier stage confusion I had. So it was just, for me, when I got into the firm, it was just smooth on. It was just easy to follow on from there. So what happens for somebody that doesn't really get it? So maybe what if you're posted to a firm that doesn't pay? There was one time the lawyer's remuneration was trending on Twitter, like you go out so early, you come back so late, you do so much, and by the end of the day, somebody is paying you something that is not even up to minimum wage. I think this thing about lawyers' remuneration it's even such a big deal till now. I still get surveys from NBA. I don't know if any of us here are still getting surveys from NBA talking about remuneration. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Have I been going too fast?
No, it's
No,
okay.
we're enjoying your session.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I still get surveys from MBA talking about remuneration and things like that. So that's to tell you how important matters like this can trend for a while, and it can become a really big deal that is being debated right now at the national level at the NBA. So all these things put together, if you have a good working environment, it's going to help you. You're going to be able to explore more areas that you would want to try practicing in. You want to try, you would be able to basically share your ideas. You'll be able to grow, because when you're able to pitch in things, you feel this confidence. It comes, and you're more comfortable with working with people. You find confidence speaking. That comes from being able to work in a good environment that helps you grow, develop. It somehow nurtures you and prepares you for your future life ahead. I'm just going to try to wrap up quickly so I don't stay too long. For me, my experience, it's been mixed. Sometimes I'm really, really very happy. Sometimes I'm very sad. So I think that part is just life generally. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working. And I want to encourage us that even though it's looking like it's not working, it is actually still working, because there's no time that you're ever at the end to say. In the part where you're confused or trying to figure out what to do next, that process of thinking and figuring out what to do next is also a process. So it's also an experience that so many other people will get to learn from, get to be able to relate to. Um, it's law has been amazing for me. I've even moved, for me personally now, I started out as somebody that was confused to somebody that has gathered experience in from procurement to infrastructure to PPPs, understanding so many other aspects. Even though my main interest has always been tech, I've been able to learn so many things, and I'll even talk about tech a bit more. This webinar is being hosted by Lotrella, and I work with Lotrella. I am head of operations at Lotrella. So at Lotrella, what we do is we're trying to create this environment that would be very, very, very comfortable. It's going to be the most appealing place for every lawyer to be. I've been working on this project for a while. It seems I think almost a year and counting, and it's a wonderful experience we're trying to curate, and that's why we're having this webinar also. The main essence of Lotrella is to connect lawyers to themselves, to be able to network, to be able to learn, to be able to find those courses you need, those quick draft, those things you need that are going to help you decide what to do with your career, help you do a side hustle, like was earlier mentioned by Chris, because we all need the money. So Lotrella is an amazing platform that we are currently creating, just for lawyers to feel the just for lawyers to feel the impact of how networking really helps. It's going to also be a site to empower entrepreneurs. We currently are still in our project test phase, so I would even love it if everyone on here signs up for our newsletter, follows us, and become our first adopters, because it's going to be awesome on there. The platform is amazing. We're going to be putting together a series of discussions like this. I think that's my experience so far. Let me not go too much talking about my work. I'm supposed to just share experience here. So I'm going to hand over back to Damola now. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ari. We had an amazing time just listening in. I think that's something that stood out for me about your experience is the fact that you were willing to put yourself out there. You were also willing to um do as much as you could. It didn't have to be law related, and that's something that I've also noticed with law as well, right? Just having the foundation of law and having transferable skills will really go a long way for you. So thank you very much. I'm very inspired, very, very strong women here with us today, and strong men, of course. um, yes, so we have our last speaker here. His name is Mr. Ingambusa. I didn't have the chance to read his bio because wasn't sorry because he wasn't in. So I'll just skim through his bio. Okay, his video is on. If you can just give us a wave, that would be nice. Thank you. So Mr. Busa is a diligent and dedicated professional experienced in discovering and analyzing legal issues. He's an articulate and persuasive legal practitioner with a strong and effective communication, leadership, and interpersonal skills. He focuses primarily on his litigation practice in a diverse range of areas that include commercial, ICT, communications, media, maritime, aviation, property, employment, family, the list goes on. He provides advice to clients on various legal issues and defends businesses and individuals involved in civil, administrative, or criminal investigations or proceedings. Hi, Mr. Inem. So good to have you here. We can see you. I don't think we can hear you. So just if you would please just give us a brief introduction about your journey so far with legal practice, that would be nice. So the floor is yours. I don't think we can hear you. Can anyone hear?
No, I can't hear him either.
Okay.
I can't hear you either.
How about
I
now?
think
How
it's
about
in my
now?
okay, yes, we can hear
Yes,
you
we
now.
can hear
We
you
can hear you
now.
now.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
I had to leave my earphones. If I knew
Yes,
that the
we can hear
bio
you
would be that long to read out, I would have just submitted. My name is Busainem. I am a human.
now. No, we have to give you your
Good,
accolades. It's very, very
good day,
necessary.
good day, everyone. My name is Busainem.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, I'm a legal practitioner. I am the managing partner of Prescott Parsons, a law firm based out of Lekki, Lagos. I head the litigation department of the law firm. I will cut to the chase. While I was in the university, I always wanted to do litigation. I headed a lot of litigation groups, headed moots. So when I came out, I had my path quite just cut for me. I only want to do litigation, and I've been doing litigation since I was called to bar till date. And name it, I've done it. There's probably a few parts of litigation that I have not done, from the small claims court to the Supreme Court. I enjoy litigation so much. And you hear people say a lot of things like, oh, there is no money in litigation. Please my tell that to my former employers who used to collect 20 million naira per litigation. And you say there's no money in litigation. But anyway, they used to pay us when they collect 20,000 naira per litigation, they'll still pay us maybe 50K or 100K or 150K. So the secret is um, first, identify what you want to do. Identify what you want to be known for. For example, if you talk to my friends or talk to people who know me, they will tell you basically one thing. Ah, that's the litigation guy. Give him the litigation. Um, Last week, I got paid 150,000 naira by a law firm that has lawyers in it to draft originating processes over the course of within 12 hours. It's not as easy as it sounds. Drafting originating processes during vacation period within 12 hours. But it happened. It was, no, not last week, 2 weeks ago, rather. It was done. So when you identify what you want to do, when you say what you want to be known for, chances are that whenever such issues come up, people will always come to you. Say you want to be known as a technology law expert. Just carve your niche in it, publish your articles, be a known name in it. People will always run to you. If it's maritime, same thing. People will always run to you. So that's the advice that I have for young lawyers. Identify what you want to be known for and then work seriously at it. And you see that after a while, um, everybody know your name in that particular niche that you have carved for yourself. Presently, I am shuffling between a case that I'm having. Hopefully, they've not called my case and this meeting, but I just said I had to be here for this meeting. I am not all formal. Uh, I collect coins as a hobby. I also travel. I travel a lot, actually, a lot on work, on leisure. Then for my side hustles, yes, I have side hustles. I'm a mystery shopper and I write CVs and research for people on the side. But of course, those things bring just the small monies in. But the small monies are good to keep you going. Um, like Mr. Sorry, I forgot your name, sir. Like he mentioned earlier, it causes you to not like he mentioned, deviate and start doing what we call Jankara law practice. So once you identify what you want to be known for and you work at it, you'll be good. When I started law practice during my NYSC, my pay was 15,000 naira. I was working in a litigation law firm and they gave me a docket of 12 files. I was handling 12 files at 15,000 naira a month. It was very poor compared to what my friends were collecting. But I knew what I was looking for. I was looking to have litigation experience. So I handled those 12 files effectively for the 1 year I did my youth service, collected my 15,000 naira jejely. But after that 1 year, because I was handling the files alone with very little supervision, I gained very good experience that maybe some persons have not gained in 3 or 4 years. I'm on my 6th year of law practice, and by the grace of God, I've appeared in the Supreme Court. I have several briefs in the Supreme Court. Just because the only thing I want to do is litigation. I'm not general law practice or whatever. So that's the advice that I'm giving to that I want to give to the new wigs. It is very important that even if you take little pay at the place where you know you can gain experience for what you would want to do, eventually everything will be all right. Law is not, you don't make money in law overnight. Eventually everything will be all right. I had to leave paid employment. You know the story. The last paid employment I worked in, I was earning 150,000 naira. But I was doing most of the work in the litigation branch, and we were earning good money. We were earning good money. There was a litigation brief we took at 27 million naira. In that same year, we took another one at 9 million naira. In that same year, we took another one for about 12 million naira. But my salary was 150K, and I was the one doing all the work. So you see, these are the kind of issues that you go through. But after a while, because of the experience that you have gained from handling those files, from handling those things, from handling those transactions related to what you love, after a while, you become independent, you come out. Presently, my friends usually say this thing: if you employ Busa, he will not stay. He will not stay because when you, let's say I work in a firm and you take 27 million naira on a litigation brief and you tell me you want to pay me a salary of say 300 or 400,000 naira monthly. I can't stay because I'm doing all the work and we earn 27 million on it. Yes, you have earned your name, which brought you the brief, but I need to be shown some consideration for the work. So what I'm saying in effect is, once you carve a niche for yourself and make your name known in that place, your services will be valuable and people will source for you, people will look for you. So it is very important. Even if you have to take little pay from the beginning, please do so. Stay there for a while, learn, and when you learn, the earning will come automatically. I want to appreciate this honor for being invited here to talk. I can only be so brief because of the case I'm handling. It's a 2002 case. The clients have changed 11 lawyers. So these are some of the issues that we face with litigation. Imagine doing litigation since 2002. So recently I've been exploring all other means of alternative dispute resolution and I've been enjoying them. Been using demand letters to settle cases. One demand letter, settle a case. One demand letter, settle a case. In fact, there's no need to go to court if you ask me over anything. As far as you guys can sit down and have good discussions and one party is ready to budge, dispute resolution is a very good branch of law practice. Of course, when things have dabaru, have come to the worst, that is when we go to litigation. Litigation should only be a last resort. Always try to settle the issues before they get out of hand and go to court. That's what I tell other lawyers, and that's the advice that I also give to the bulk of my clients. So recently, I've been trying to do that instead of taking everything to rush to court. But I always love the advocacy, writing arguments, writing briefs, and all of that. So I want to thank all of you for having me today. I think that's all that I can say. Over to you, Damola.
Thank you so much. That was very interesting. I think we did a very good job selecting our speakers for this webinar. Thank you so much. That was very enlightening. So I think something that you particularly pointed out was identify what it is that you want to do. Like for you, you knew that you wanted to do litigation, right? And you went straight into it. So an advice for new wigs, identify what it is that you want to do and make yourself relevant in that niche. So if it is that you want to do litigation, try to put yourself in rooms, in places that you can contribute, no matter how small. Get your voice heard. If you whatever thing it is that you want to do, there are people out there that want to learn about it. So if you can go the extra mile, learn about it, write articles, make yourself a an authority in that field. That's something that I've learned from everyone that has spoken today. So this has been such an interesting time. We got some questions from some of our some people that signed up. I'm just going to be throwing them to the participants. So yeah, well, yeah, to the speakers actually. So some of the people that are sending the questions aren't here yet. I'm sure they will join in. But we have about 10 questions. So there are four speakers. Three of them are here right now. So I'll just bounce the questions across the speakers. So the first question goes to, I think this is more suited for Mr. Busa. This question says, how do I improve my CV if I'm yet to get a master's degree? I know that you said something about your side hustle writing CV, so please help out with this question. Okay. I think he might have probably stepped into court, so I'll just keep that one aside for him. Mr. Christopher, is Mr. Christopher here? Mm, okay. So the next question is, how can technology improve my practice as a lawyer? Does anyone want to take that for us? I know Miss Henry is currently unavailable for a couple of minutes. She's a technology lawyer, so I think she would answer that when she's back. But let me just give a couple of suggestions. Okay, she's here now.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I'm shuttling between meetings, but I can quickly take that. Um, so technology, that's one thing that, in fact, we are here right now, this webinar, this is technology. This is one thing that we constantly have to deal with every day of our lives. Now, this is the new normal, like we're using our phones, we're of going to buy tickets to travel, everything basically is revolving around technology. Things that we used to do before without tech, we used to deal with manually, as everybody, all industries has moved over to tech. So your legal practice should not be the only one dulling. Your legal practice can be improved with tech a whole lot. We've seen amazing tech products. We have Law Pavilion that became I think for me, Law Pavilion is one expert product that every lawyer should even have in handy. MBA has done amazing in the past, few years, trying to subsidize the rates for Law Pavilion because it's such a beautiful package that it has almost everything that you would ever need. So how will technology help your law practice? Number one, is going to save you time. It is going to save you a whole lot of time. You can have a short time to do a whole lot. And if you have technology, you have, let's say, for instance, you want to, let me make reference to what Mr. Inem was just saying now, having to draft in 12 hours. let's say you've been typing all day and it's not even working for you. A simple technology such as speech to text can help you become a faster, create your documents or whatever it is you're working on faster, because you just speak to it and it converts whatever you're saying into text. That's saving you time. A second thing is going to save you a whole lot of energy. It's going to save you a whole lot of work energy, draining, no more long hours spending, and no more draining of energy working so hard. Because if you have some technology to cut the level of work down, you have more time to rest, you have more time to study around other things, you have more time to deal with every other thing that we have to do aside from working. Technology is also going to make your practice stand out, as both as a person or as someone running an organization. For those of us that intend to start their own firm or their own businesses or whatever, technology is going to make you stand out. Because today, if I tell you that I'm top-notch influencer and this, and then you check on Instagram or Facebook or one of these social media handles and you don't see me, you're not going to take me seriously. So technology is something that's going to put you out there. It's going to expose you to a whole lot of people. We have to also be careful around technology, because there we have issues of cybersecurity, we have privacy concerns and everything. But in all, it has more pros. It has more additions to us, because the amount of time, energy, the amount of networking, everything that we can leverage on in technology, I tell you, it's not something that can be discussed in one brief meeting. But let's just start with the basics. If you have more time, it's good for your practice. If you have more energy, it's good for your body, because health is wealth. And if you have more clients, it's also good for you. You can use technology to market yourself, put your work out there, and I think that's something that everybody should be willing to tap into. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was a very good answer. Tech makes your life fast. It makes your life easier. It makes doing work faster. It makes doing work easier as well. Like you said, it also helps you put yourself out there. There are so many different products and services that are simplifying legal practice today. So, the world is a global village now, and the legal profession shouldn't be left behind, and it's not even being left behind. There are so many different products that can simplify your life and simplify your work and reduce your workload and burden as a lawyer. Thank you very much. So this next question is from Mr. Christopher. He's here now. It
Yes,
says,
yes, I am.
how do I? Okay,
Sorry,
thank
I have
you.
some things to attend to. Okay.
No problem. No problem. This question says, how do I make myself relevant in my chosen specialization of law?
Okay, that's a very wonderful question. And for me, there's something I do. I love litigation. So if that is my area of specialization and that is what you want to do, you choose the niche you want to carve for yourself, then you get involved in research. I love research so much. You get involved in research. For me, like now, I have the Law Pavilion app, and then I have the Nigeria Weekly Law Reports. That's for the office, and then also have Federal Weekly Law Reports. All Federal Weekly Law Reports. So I go more into research because I want to be relevant in litigation. So it's easy if you say, "Oh, Chris, please, what I need a case for this. I need it within before the end of the week." I can go into the library and just search for and get what I need. So you need to get the materials that are necessary for that field, that area you want to specialize in. You need to get the materials necessary for that, and also get some seniors or friends or colleagues that have been into that for years. So they will help you to navigate that particular area. They will help you to broaden your horizon. And then you also need to get books. you get books, you read cases. Sometimes, even if I started going fully into practice, I do just go to court, I just sit and then see how things are being done. Now, for a litigation lawyer, if you love litigation, you don't just go to court and sit and then at the end of your case, you just leave, especially for young lawyers. It wouldn't pay you much. It's advisable you go to court early, sit through other cases before yours. You learn things. Surprisingly, it might surprise you that a particular case that may be handled in a court, and then you needed that authority, you just find that you get use the authority for your own matter. It will help you. And also, it also helps you to know the demeanor of the court, the judge you're going to meet. Is it a court that loves, okay, let's bring all our processes together and we'll argue them one after the other, or let's do a summary? So it helps. So whatever niche you're having for yourself, you go into that field and then get ideas, get books on that, do research, and then get people that have been into that and ask for their experiences. You get the good ones and the bad ones and work on that. And then if you're going into the areas of what do they call it, making yourself relevant, one other thing also, it's knowing the kind of cases you take. You know, knowing the kind of cases you want to handle. You choose. You have the right to choose of what you want to do, and then you make sure you're valuable in that area. If you're not there, to say, oh, we miss this person in this place, and then people can run to you for such. Also, with regards to issue of land matters and the registration of lands, T of O and everything, I've made it an habit of getting somebody in that department that gives me feedback, tells me the recent thing that's happened and everything. And then you have your friends that come to you and say, please, I want to do this. How can I get that? But because I already have an idea of that, I already have persons working in that field and I already have a relationship with them. I can just say, okay, fine, for this one, come to me, pay this amount of money, I'll give you this and everything. So it's easier. So just find a way, get the necessary books you need to do, go into research, meet persons that have been ahead of you and work with them. And with this, you can be able to carve a way for yourself in that field of study. And one very important thing also for pay, remuneration, if you want to carve this for yourself, you must also add the value, the monetary value you're adding also. Because if you're going to be taking meager sum of money for your services, the thing they will be doing with you to be very simple, just something that's so easy, everybody can just come and pick you. You won't make name. You won't make name. But if you add good value, if you have value and you've carved a niche for yourself, when you're charging, people will be willing to pay because they know you're giving them good services and quality services. Thank you so much. I hope I've been able to try to attempt answering your question.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
ma'am.
That was a very good answer. Thank you. So our next question, I think I'll throw this to Miss Rosemont. The question says, what are my best ways to network as a young lawyer?
Okay, fantastic question. But first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Chris, and apologies. My network threw me out for a bit. So, best ways to network are numerous. So I will start basically from what I started with. Everybody, I'm sure anyone that is practicing or basically is serious with what they are doing professionally must have a LinkedIn account, right? So LinkedIn is not just a place to go and post your achievements and say, oh, congratulations to me, I got this award for so, so and so. No, you have to be very, very strategic, and you also have to be somebody who comes with value every time. Come with value. Let me tell you, there's a psychological need in the mind of every single human being that when they see value, they appreciate value. And let me tell you, value can mean different things to different people. So I particularly remember where when I started writing my articles were valuable to some people, to some other people they were not. During the lockdown in 2020, when everybody was saying, oh, life is about to change forever and all that, I remember what kickstarted the first young lawyer mentorship series that I began to host. Where for those of you that are very popular on LinkedIn, I'm sure you know Frank Ramos, who basically was one of the first guests that I had. Now, sometimes you have to just overcome your fear of hearing the word no. The best way to put yourself out there is to always come with value. So whether you are analyzing a particular innovation in law, something different, you write there. reach out to people who have similar interests as you. That's just one platform. So we are talking about online. Maximize your use of online platforms, not just for visibility, but also show that you are a valuable person by the amount of information you share, by the accuracy of the information you share, by the impact of that information in the minds of the viewers, the readers, or the listeners. Let it be relevant to the times that they are in. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing I also say is volunteer. A very powerful way. I can't count the doors that have opened and are still opening to me as a result of just serving without the expectancy of getting something, right? I'm saying this because whatever amount, whatever financial goods or financial benefits you are looking for to get in the profession as growing a career, they are in the pockets of human beings. God is not going to come down from heaven and dump money into your laps because you studied law. No. He's going to hide that in human beings. And how do you get access to human beings? Go where they are, right? Be very, very active in your young lawyer forums. If possible, attend meetings, join committees. Committees are a beautiful way to show the value that you possess as a person. Whatever interest you're in. Okay, so let me give a typical example. The Nigerian Bar Association has the section on business law. They have the section on legal practice, right? Even if you are not in quotes, a core litigation person, there's a section on business law. If you're not a core corporate person, there's a section on legal practice. There's welfare. Join things and join from where you are. Look for your local bar branch and join there. I would say that personally, I'm not going to tell you something I haven't done or I am not doing, right? And I remember I have met the likes of amazing people and I have their contacts till date, and all I have to do is put a call across because of value, right? So serve on committees. Don't just join and mark time. Join and add something. Let it be that, oh, because Rosemond is here, because this so and so person is here, wow, this is what has happened. And let that also be. So one of the key ways to network is serve, volunteer, contribute valuably online, reach out to people. Sometimes you may need to make cold calls. Cold calls meaning you see people that are quite influential. You can reach out to them, thanking them for what they are doing and request to pay for some of the services that they offer. I'll give a typical example. I was about to show you all a book that was written by somebody who was in one of the Innovation Hub sessions that I was a part of, the Hague Institute for Innovation in Law. He was one of the authors there. Now, he had come to give a speech or a presentation on that day on a particular entrepreneurship program that I was a part of. And everybody was like, how do we reach you? Of course, normal speakers now. They'll give you their phone numbers, they'll give you their email addresses and all. What I did was that I went to LinkedIn. I didn't just go there to go and farms. I sent him a personal message, clearly articulating who I was, what he had done, how much I had learned from it. And I requested for some things that he was offering. And I insisted that I paid for it. And when I did that, that opened a door. We began to connect and I met with him physically. And the rest, they say, is history. So different approaches work for different people. You must understand that if you are trying to break into a circle, you don't go there to collect. Go there, first of all, to give. What skills do you have? What talent do you have? Like what Chris was saying, I learned, thank you so much for what you even shared. The way you see yourself is how people perceive you. So don't go into a place, especially when you are new in a place and everything. Don't go there looking to just get. Look for how to serve, look for how to contribute. And that's how you can begin to, improve and increase your networking skills. I know people say your network is your net worth, but I'm so sorry, I beg to differ. I'll tell you what it is. Not your network is not your net worth. It is how you use and how you play your role within your network that affects your net worth, right? You can have the phone calls of people from different people and you don't have relationships with them. So relationships, it's a give or take thing. It's a two-way street, right? Don't just go there willing to collect. Also go there. If I go there to give more than you want to receive, and then you see that you get recommendations from this place, get calls, oh, we see what you're doing here, please can you do that? And when you are requested to come and volunteer for things, please don't hastily say no, because even though that thing may not be in quote paid for, and I'm not talking about legal services now, I'm talking about other services that you can do as a person as a result of your skills or your giftings, please don't say no. You may just be breaking into a network where more people will need your service, right? I'll give a typical example. I'm a commercial attorney, and most of us, we deal with a lot of small businesses and organization and restructuring. As a result of a particular friendship I made, I was able to give a lecture to small and medium business organizations that were organized by the German embassy in collaboration with the federal government. I would have never done that. I'm just giving an example because I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I would not have gotten that access if I hadn't said yes to an opportunity that looked like it was unpaid. Right? And that has opened several doors. So one of the best ways to network is literally understand who you are, focus on your skills, your gifts, and ensure that you are always providing value all the time, either offline or online. Volunteer in your local branch or bar associations, be a contributor and not just a consumer. And I think that's the best way for you to be able to increase and improve your networking skills as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I hope you could hear me.
Yes, thank you so much, Rosalie. Ouch. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, Rosemond, I could hear you. That was amazing. In fact, I'm coming to fish you out on LinkedIn. This is actually is very propelling for me because I saw the poster, worked on it, and then I saw the speakers line up. I think the only speaker I personally know is Christopher Daniel, and my mind was like, okay, yeah, I'll get to meet these people, but with what you just explained, I'm definitely sliding into your DM. That was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rosemond. Again, that was amazing. Something that you said that stood out to me was don't just don't just enter rooms or don't just seek relationships to collect. Look for how you can give, going with the intention to give, and also add value. It's very important to leave your footprints in the sands of time and in people's hearts as well. You really just never know, even if nothing comes out of it, right? You've learned something. So that's really, really important. Thank you so much. Our next question who should this go to? So okay, Mr. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Sorry, I will just skip that for now. So the next question says, how do I know if to work or get a master's degree after law school? Huh.
Hmm.
So who wants to take this?
Okay, let me try something.
Okay.
Hope I'm not jumping in.
No, please. So I think after you, then Mr. Busa would speak. So
Okay,
because
no
he raised his
problem.
hand.
So,
All right.
oh, sorry. So, some of for me, I actually planned on going to law school, then getting my after youth service or before one of them, get my master's degree, even get a PhD before start practicing law. That's what I actually wanted and everything. But those of us are still in view, waiting for the right time to pursue that. It's still there, it's still a dream. So you can choose what you want to do. You can decide to get a master's degree before you practice, or you can decide to practice. While practicing, then you apply to get a master's degree. But practicing and getting a master's degree is dependent on the law firm you're working with. If you want to practice law, do you want to do it solo practitioner? You want to practice as a solo lawyer, you want to work with a firm? So do it on your own. That means you're going to have enough time. But if you're working with a law firm, the schedule, how do you fix your office work with your academic work? That's one thing also. So the best advice I normally give somebody is go for your masters. When you're through, you come back, then you start practicing. But if you really want to do both, you can actually do both, but you have to really search for a law firm that can give you the leverage, the time to get there. I have friends that they are working in a law firm and then they're also doing their masters. So it depends on what you're bringing to the table. If you're going to do your masters while you are working for the firm, for me, the one I've seen is that you won't get paid for that period. So whatever you're doing, you won't get paid, or you will slash your salary because you already have more time dedicated for your academic pursuit. So it's advisable that either you do your master's first and start practicing, or you practice for a while, then you go for your master's, whichever works for you. So that's my take on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Busa, do you want to go next? Or if you can't speak, you can just type out. Okay, so he sent a message.
Yes, sir.
He says,
Yeah, directly my phone lost. Okay. Okay. 080.
okay, please can we unmute our mic? Okay, so he says, let me just read the message. He says, if you have the money, do your masters if you must. Source for funds, work first. For example, the masters I want to do is 17 million. Wow. So I have to work first. That's very, very interesting. Okay, so I mean, like they said, so I think it really depends on what works for you. You know, you can like a good idea, like he said, would be to like if it's something that's very expensive, you can work, save up money, then go do your masters, you know. Or if you want to do it straight after school, I have some of my friends that immediately after uni they just went straight to do their masters and came back for law school. Immediately after law school before NYSC, they went to do their masters, and it really depends on what works for you. A lot of people say they want to work, they want to do a master's in what they would practice for the rest of their life, and they want to work and gain experience before they can move forward. Before they can go to school and get certified. So I think it really depends based on personal experience. Life will throw so many things at you, so just out of everything that happens, just weigh the pros and weigh the cons, and there you would have it. Thank you very much, everyone. We have a couple more questions. This one's very interesting. I think this will go to our litigation people in the house. So it says, how do I deal with seniors in my firm earning more than me, but I'm doing most of the work? I think Mr. Busa would be a very good person to answer this question, because I mean he shared some of his experiences with that. Do you so like you okay, he send in some messages. So while we're waiting on that, the next question says, how do I deal with courtroom anxiety? I think that should also go to him. Or let's start with Mr. Christopher. He's also a litigation enthusiast. So if you would please answer that.
Okay, hello. Sorry, I'm trying to get some things done in court. I'm going to court to go and check what happened in a particular matter. So let me respond shortly.
Okay, no problem. We'll
Now,
come back to you.
what was the question again? Sorry.
The question says, how do I deal with courtroom anxiety?
Okay. Now, I remembered my first case in court. I was sent to go and move a motion. And I was like, okay, fine, just go to the law firm. And then that same day, I got there early and like, oh, Chris, please, you're going to move this particular motion in court. And I'm like, I don't even know what's happening in the matter. So how do I do that? They said that you're going, there's other persons that are occupied with other matters. So just a motion, go and move it. And thankfully, I've been going to court prior to that. But that doesn't take away the anxiety. So I actually went there and I stood. I kept watching what others were saying. So it was very simple. I just wrote down the procedures, my lord, before you use an application for this. So you write it down.
So no court, no law, no judge will laugh at you for coming to the for the first time to court to give this. So all you need is just to be able to stand. Once you stand, no matter how you fumble, so long as it's a simple motion you're going to move, you can overcome it. The court will help you to overcome it. So just take the first bold step of going there and saying your name. Say your name, and then the court will guide you on what to say and what to do. So it will help you. But I would advise that you don't go for the first time to a court alone for a matter that is tedious, a matter that is serious, that you need to adumbrate, that you need to quote laws and you start citing and everything. If that's the case, that should not be your first point of call. But if you just remove emotion or apply for something else, you can do that. And I believe when you take the confidence to stand, the court will guide you to avoid that courtroom anxiety. Just be there, just keep listening, and then it will help you overcome it. Thank you for that. Then I had
Thank you.
hope that
Thank
is
you,
clear, sir.
Mr. Yes, it is.
Okay, I wanted to jump in for that of the having senior lawyers in the office. You do more of the work, and they pay them more. Just a short one. This practice is about seniority. It's about seniority most times. So before you come in there, whatever you're learning is for you. Whatever work you're doing is what you will use to go. Sorry, then it's what you use to go to your own firm. Is what will increase your knowledge and your expertise. So please don't complain about the work. So long as they are paying you what was agreed upon, it is fair enough. Just do the work. It will help you. Believe you me, the first place I was working, my boss will come and say, "Oh, Chris, prepare this document." And I know how much they charge the clients for a particular process. And I will take research, I do research for like 3 to 4 days, come up with the brief and everything. And funny enough, the client pays about 200,000 for final written address. That one is what I saw as in real life. It was not something. 200,000 for final written address. And it took me about 4 days to prepare that, to draft that document. And I did that process. After drafting it, my boss only gave me the money for filing and transport. And then at the end of the month, my salary of 15,000 naira. Shockingly, my salary of 15,000 naira. And I have persons that are in the office that they pay them 40 because they've been there. They've also done their share of work before getting to that level of paying them higher than I've been paid. But what I did was bear the work. Whatever work you do as a young lawyer in a law firm, so long as they're paying you your agreed fee that you know you are accepted, that you know you are accepted and everything, learn it. Now I can go to any place and draft any financial address without supervision. I learned it in a place whereby I was paid less than the value I was adding. But I was getting lessons, I was being taught and everything. So that's how you can deal with that. Know that whatever you're doing, it is not for the firm. Any project you draft in a law firm, it is not for the firm, it is your own knowledge. Because when you go there to do your work, nobody's going to come and draft it for you. If you say to draft it for you, you pay the person. But when you learn it from that place, you're going to be increased in knowledge and you enhance your drafting skill. So thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very good. I mean, just like Mr. Christopher has said, as far as you have agreed, you have you are being paid your salary that was agreed on. Sometimes it's best to just unlook and just wait till you become a senior lawyer because like we all know our profession is one that is seniority based. So that always happens. It always happens. So Mr. Inem dropped some messages. He says seniors earn more than you, normal level. You have to wait to be a senior first, then manage and gain your experience. Once you are good, those people will look for you. Very, very true. On courtroom anxiety, he says watch other cases, appear for judgment. You don't appear for judgment. You don't have to talk much here. Then appear for report of service. Then appear for motions. Write out what you will say. You always be anxious in court, but after a while, your anxiety reduces. I'm still anxious for many cases, despite all my courtroom experience. Very good. I think that step by step process really broke it down. A lot of people have very funny first courtroom appearance stories. Um, for me, I think the first time I appeared in court, it was very interesting. So what happened? It was in federal high court, and there was a case on, I think, possession of marijuana or something like that, and the accused didn't understand English, and he was sorry. The accused didn't understand English, and there was no interpreter in court, and he looks like he was just the mule. It was a lot of drugs. He was just the mule, and there were other people sponsoring him. And the judge just looked around the court, and she said, "You know what? This man has already been awaiting sentencing for years. He has been in prison for years. So I'm going to ask five people to give a sentence for him." And the first person she called was me. This was the first time I was in court ever. So she called me and she says, "So how many years should we give this person? Consider the fact that he's dealing with." So he had marijuana, he had retinol, he had different types of drugs. They had to bring it in a big Ghana must go. And she said, "Yeah, so you are going to consider the fact that he has been in prison, consider the fact that he doesn't understand English, consider the fact that he was probably set up, consider the fact that he doesn't even know what's happening, but he like what's it called? But he was caught with drugs, and I was shaking in my boots because I felt like the life of someone literally depended in my hands. But lucky enough, I've forgotten how many years I said. I think I said 2 years or 1 year or something, you know. And so she asked other people, and like, people gave their own opinions. It was very interesting actually, but who would have thought? So like everybody has said, anxiety is very normal, right? You get anxious because you just never know. There are people that have been sent to court to move motions, and they get there, and the judge is like, "No, you must continue," and they don't know what to say. So I've heard all these stories, all these things happen, but don't worry, it's a part. As time goes on, as you gather experience, your anxiety reduces because you become more confident in what you're doing. The experience comes confidence. So yeah. And the next question is for Miss Rosemond. I hope you guys enjoyed my story. Next question is for Miss Rosemond. So can you give us more tips on article writing, writing articles and then putting the articles out there, especially for young lawyers? Hello, can everybody hear me?
Hi, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to confirm.
Hi, I can hear you too.
Okay, I think she's busy, so I will just skip to the next question. We're almost out of time. Time really does fly when you're having fun. This has been such an interesting session. I can't believe we spent almost 2 hours. So the last question says, how do you manage standing up to senior lawyers like SANs in courts related, like SANs in courts? So this is related to the anxiety question. So how do you manage standing up to the critically acclaimed big lawyers, SANs, AGs in court? So yes, standing up to senior lawyers. How do you manage that? So I think this is linked to the question on anxiety. So if we can get an answer, that would be nice. So I think Mr. Inem would like to answer. He's probably typing something. Okay, so this has been such an impactful session. It has been so interesting. Okay, he has an answer for us now. So he says, did they pay your school fees in school? No. So have no fear. Very good. So I mean, it's very common, right, to have anxiety and to be fearful, especially as a young lawyer, because everybody looks like they know what they're doing. Everybody looks like they're very confident in what they're doing. And we know with lawyers, you have to be very articulate, you have to be very confident, and you're just here, you're anxious, and then let's assume you come to the court by 8 o'clock, you're the first person to get there, and an SCN will just waltz in by 9 o'clock when the court is about to sit, and their case gets called up first, and you're about to speak, and they say, "Come on, sit down, young man or young lady." all those things that happen in court, But I think as time goes on, you become a lot more confident, and just the fact that you should still be confident in your own abilities, not just what someone says about you or says against you. As a young lawyer, confidence is very, very important. You should be able to stand your ground. You should be able to speak for yourself, and you should also know when to be quiet. Wisdom is very, very key. So let's see what he has to say. He said, every lawyer on the other side is your opponent. They try to shut you up, but speak, argue. No one can beat you. They can only try to intimidate you. Very good, actually. Really good. Like you said, no one can beat you. Anyone that tries to beat you will be reprimanded by the court. But really, no one can beat you. Try to speak. People will try to, and that is something that happens in life, right? When people see that you are a little timid or you can't speak up for yourself, they might use that to their own advantage. And in court, like you said, everyone is your opponent. Everyone is like you are there for yourself and for your client. Everybody else is against you, especially your the person on your opposing side. So it's just important that as you navigate law practice, learn confidence, right? Learn how to speak for yourself, learn how to stand up for yourself. When people try to shut you down, as far as you know what you are saying, refuse to be shut down. And that's the funny thing, right? Once you have confidence, you can speak anywhere, even if you're saying nonsense, which you should not be saying. But once you're confident in what you know and what you believe in, you can stand anywhere, you can speak for yourself. And these are the things that you need, especially as a lawyer, not just a litigation lawyer, right? But a lawyer in Nigeria. So yes, I think we have come to the end. Oh, there's another message. He's sending me bits by bits. He says, if you are if you're on your feet speaking, don't sit down till you finish speaking. If the SN tries to chance you, keep speaking. They will respect you. Very good. Every lawyer is called to the same bar to practice in the same court, including the Supreme Court. So you must build confidence. Great, great. And all these things you learn them as you progress, right? You learn them day by day. You go to court today, you have this experience, you speak up for yourself, you stand your ground. You do all these things, you know, very, very important. So thank you so much. We did this for young wigs, young lawyers, just a little bit afraid of the world out there, the very vast, wide world of legal practice. We're just here to show you and tell you that it's really not bad. There's so much you can do for yourself. There's so much you can do for yourself. There's so much that you should also do for yourself. Put yourself out there. Learn to network. Networking is so key. I can't tell you the things that have gone excellently because I have just said hi to someone, because I have asked questions, because I have sent follow-up emails, sent messages. Learn to put yourself out there. Also, learn to give impact. When you're looking to network, don't just look for what you can take, but look for what you can give as well. Write articles, be relevant. People are looking to learn. There are people looking to learn something. If you can teach it, then you can become an authority. If you can spend time learning, and then converting what you know into valuable information and putting it out there, there are people willing to learn. So this has been such an amazing time. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to Amri. Thank you to Christopher. Thank you to Rosemond. Thank you to Inem. I learned so much. I'm sure everyone that attended also learned a lot. So if we let me just give everybody 1 minute to say something, closing remarks,
Okay, can I?
just
Can
one
I go
minute, say
first?
something.
I hope I
Yes,
didn't miss
please. Yes, please.
anything. Okay, all right.
Sorry?
So for me, I would say
Okay.
I said I hope I didn't miss anything.
No, you didn't.
All
So,
right. So for me, I would just say that um knowing what you want from the start is always most times not possible. Sometimes you have to figure it in the journey. Clarity comes in the journey, and you can't get it right immediately, but you will always get it right at every particular point in time. So I just want to just encourage everybody that has listened so far. Nobody gets to the zenith by starting there. You start from somewhere, so always start with where you are, and don't be what's the word, don't be too afraid to try and start new things. Usually what the legal
yeah.
profession is always seen as a very tight corner where you can't really do a lot. But most of the speakers on this panel have told you that there are endless possibilities to who you can be, even with your law degree, right? So I would just say don't be scared of evolving, and there's always clarity, but you must keep moving. So that's just what I would just end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very profound. Um, so closing remarks, Christopher
Okay,
Amri.
let me just add that it's okay to make U-turns. It's
Yeah,
okay to want something at the beginning, and it's okay for that your interest to change. And it's never too late to, get right on what you feel like is your passion or what you feel like you should be doing with your career in terms of practice, in terms of business. This applies generally to everywhere, but we can apply it in our legal practice. As new lawyers, is always a bit very confusing at the first. Happened to me, happened to most of my friends. And nobody's going to come and shame you that look at this one that said they want to do litigation. They don't run away. That kind of thing. It's not I don't think it's something that you should be bothered about. What you should be concerned about is this thing I'm doing, this path I'm going. Is it working for me? Is it helping me? Is it where I really want to be? And if it's not, there's nothing wrong in changing. There you see people that over the years they've spent so much time, not even just time, money. They pick on an interest, they train towards that interest, they invest in that interest, and then all of a sudden they're starting brand new on something else, and you're wondering what's wrong with this person. No, it's not left for you to wonder. It's their choice, and it's probably what is going to work for them, give them the satisfaction they need, because we all need satisfaction one way or another. So let's not be afraid to, change our career path, change our course, but let's not wait till it's too late. We can always work something out. Thank you.
thank you so much. So please take your sweet time. Don't put pressure on yourself. You know, there's beauty in growth. Um, so, Mr. Christopher, if you can unmute your mic. If not, please just send a message and I would read it out. I think Mr. Inem has left. Thank you so much, everyone. As we wrap up, please don't forget to join our Telegram group. Latrella is doing amazing things. Let's just say we're doing amazing things. We're building a community of lawyers, of professionals. You know, So please don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, join our Telegram group as well. We look forward to seeing everyone. We will have more of these type of webinars. I think we did really good today. Our turnout was impressive. I think we did good. We're we're stepping our feet into good ground. So if anybody has any questions, we'll be here for about 2 minutes more Any questions, any remarks about anything about the work that we do, about opportunities, questions. If you have any questions that you think were not covered. Okay. Hi, good afternoon. I'm sorry, we can't quite hear you.
Keep the madam side. For who? Please, sir. Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I would be ending this webinar now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I'll be ending this webinar now. If you have any questions, please drop them on our Telegram group. We're very active there. Have an
Thank you,
amazing day,
everyone.
everyone. Goodbye. Thank you to our speakers as
Bye.
well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for hosting us and our moderators.
Thank you.